Okay, we are going to get started here in just a second, but I need to go down and make sure that everybody can get in the building. It's already live streaming, just FYI. So let's have a seat. This is for you.
Well, like,
I can go on your shirt wherever is good. Okay, we need to make sure we're on the frame. There we go. All right. Welcome to the Recovered Republican. We are doing our first live event, so it's always a little bit of a learning curve, but Jackson Franklin is here with us today. How are you, Jackson?
doing good. Thank you so much for having me and setting this all up.
Yeah, of course. Well, tell us first who you are, what you're running for.
Right. I'm Jackson Franklin. I'm running for Congress in the Indiana's 5th Congressional District, which currently is being occupied by Republican Victoria Sparks. You know, I'm a Indiana Army National Guard combat medic. I deployed overseas. I've been feeling the burn for the last 10 years now, and Bernie Sanders won this state and all 6 counties of the 5th District in the Democratic primary. So we're just continuing that political revolution, fighting for, Medicare for all, get money out of politics, and the genocide in Gaza, and many other progressive populist ideas.
Tell us what the most important things in your campaign are.
Well, amongst those things I just made, I'm a paramedic. So, I've taken people on the ambulance that, did not, like, I had to take people from the hospital back to their homes to die because they didn't have any health insurance. So, and they didn't want their families to go in medical bankruptcy, which, by the way, is the #1 form of bankruptcy anywhere in the country.
Really?
Yes. And so, yeah, that's something, talk about an experience that radicalizes you against the system, right? And more than 120,000 Americans die every year due to lack of health insurance. That's unique amongst, developed nations. We're the only developed nation on the planet that does not guarantee healthcare access to all people as a human right and not just as a privilege. So there's 33 developed nations. We're the only one that's like, hey, let's have a for-profit middleman that is like hassling you and, scamming you out of getting healthcare between you and your doctor. So that's one thing I'm very passionate about is Medicare for all. I've seen far too many people die. I've taken veterans, like amongst those people, I've taken veterans, people I've looked up to, as someone who's currently in the Army. So I've seen enough of my heroes die to be like, hey, why? A lot of Americans don't realize how bad we have it here. So that's a brighter future that we can come to. More than 70% of all Americans want Medicare for all. But there's a huge disconnect between what us, the voters, want and what our politicians in Congress want because of money in politics. Because the big health insurance lobbies both sides of the aisle. And that's why we don't get, sweeping healthcare reform that would cover everybody. So that's another big pillar. So money in politics, we need to overturn Citizens United, have public funding of elections, automatic voter registration. They talk about the Save America Act, quote unquote, and like making it harder for especially women and trans people to vote. It could just be automatic voter registration, like what many other countries do. So saving our democracy from the fascist is another pinnacle. Women's rights, codifying Roe versus Wade back in the Constitution, and living way. I can go on.
I know.
You talk about policy. I can talk.
I know.
Please go to jacksonfranklinforcongress.com. There's like 20 bullet points, or, more than bullet points, like drop down menus and everything that you can read a lot of our policies, and you can donate. This is a grassroots campaign. So I hope so.
Yeah, we will get to that. So tell us, is there a book that people can find and read that gives them more about who you are as a person to better understand you as a candidate?
Right. So books that like kind of encapsulate the progressive ideology. I mean, Bernie Sanders, I mentioned him a lot, of course, obviously, because he's like the grandfather or the father of modern day progressivism. Right. So I like Our Revolution by Bernie Sanders, or It's Okay to Be Angry About Capitalism, which he came out like a few years ago under the Biden administration. Those are all pretty good encapsulations of like, hey, fighting for a living wage. It talks about everything, taxing Wall Street, taxing that top 1%, paid family leave. That's another thing it's uniquely American. We do not have guaranteed paid family leave, which in Germany, if you have a child that's born or adopted, you get a year and a half off.
Really?
Yeah, and like that's what some of the other nations are doing. But if your employer does it, like if you're like, oh, well, I had family leave, that's just because your employer's chill. Like you got lucky with that, Yeah. So it's not guaranteed in law. So as far as books go, Bernie Sanders, those are just a couple of the ones that.
Absolutely. So tell us what makes you qualified for this position.
All right. What makes me qualified is our ideology. I've had, a lot of people. I've had town halls in all 6 counties. I've talked to thousands of people. And ultimately what makes a candidate or a congressperson qualified is winning the election. The people make them qualified. But I'm qualified for this position because I'm listening to working class people. I'm listening to what the voters want, and not what big Wall Street donors, big farm donors, APAC donors. That's what sets our campaign apart from the others, is that we're a grassroots campaign, much like Bernie Sanders, AOC, Zoran Mamdani. We are listening to the needs and the wants of the working class, not the donor class, the elites that are running, the billionaires that are running this country into the ground. And that's what makes us qualified. We're fighting for a popular vision for the future that we all know is possible and that we all deserve. So that's what makes us more qualified than like most of Congress, is because they're beholden by special interest money. We are only beholden to the people we're trying to represent, which is what our democracy is supposed to be like.
Supposed to be, not always.
Constitutional republic,
Right.
Representing who?
Exactly. But you said you're a grassroots campaign. Tell us what that means, because not everybody knows.
Grassroots campaigning is not taking any corporate PAC money or foreign special lobbyist and interest group money, and it's just taking it's a hard economy, of course, but we are not taking that money because everyone knows that there are strings attached to that money. There are candidates in this race that took a lot of Duke Energy money or Indiana Spine Group, as Victoria Spartz did, or APAC. We know, like, they're not just donating out of the goodness of their heart. They're like, hey, if we can get you a billboard, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, be good on this issue about like Duke Energy or Indiana Health Group, as one of my, opponents are taking. So like, obviously those strings are attached. We are just listening to the people. Ultimately the goal is to have public funding of our elections. Until then, we're not going to get that by having corporate Democrats or corporate Republicans. They're not going to undo the system that has elevated them so much. We must have a grassroots movement. Now it's taking contributions from working class people, just individuals, really. It's just individuals donating the campaign. This is what Bernie Sanders did. And also like unions, like if there's a progressive if a LGBTQ lobby wants to donate, I'm not going to be like, oh, you sold out to big gay, that liberal agenda. And that's not a thing, but like, if it's like, APAC that it like, most of Congress is lobbied by, and then no wonder we haven't stopped the genocide ongoing in Gaza. It's because that hey, give and take system. And we have legalized bribery in this country, to be blank. It's legalized corruption. Oh, but it's not bribes, it's lobbying. Tell me the difference, but yes, it's only taking money from working class people as individuals. You're not going to see like an LLC or like this big multi-million-dollar company dump like $5,000 into the campaign. Yeah.
Small unions, things like that. Okay. Well, what do you want people to remember about you? If they don't remember anything else about your campaign, what do you want them to remember?
I want them to remember that we have a movement that's fighting for the little guy. The system is broken. Well, actually, it's not broken. It's working exactly as intended for that top 1%, the billionaire oligarchs that are ruining this country, running it into the ground. We can have a system that represents all people and not just that top 1%. this campaign is trying to elevate the voices of the working class. If there's anything that Victoria Sparks and I have in common, we are fighting for the classes that we belong to. She, a member of the donor class, the wealthy top 1%. I am fighting for the working class, fighting for the needs, the human rights that people have fought and died for already. We are just fighting for that to expand and protect these rights. And we are, fighting for a system that represents all people, not just the top 1%.
Okay, this is a little off topic, but we have a little extra time. But what are your thoughts on the voucher program in Indiana?
Terrible. So we can give unlimited amounts of money to like these for-profit systems, but we can't fund our public education system. It's just a rubber stamp. Goes back to money in politics. Funny how that works out. Where you have like these private lobby groups, education groups, lobbying our state lawmakers. That's how you get a system like that. So yes, we need to have fully funded, fully public school system. And once in Congress, we should subsidize the state education system.
Okay. Well, thank you for this rapid fire interview. I know some people weren't here at the beginning. We are doing just rapid fire interviews in short order. There are several of us here. So we're going to have a lot of people through today so you can get to know candidates like Jackson, who are grassroots candidates in Indiana. And where can they go to find you if they want to donate or volunteer?
Please go to jacksonfranklinforcongress.com to, as Brianna said, donate, volunteer. You could also see our calendar. We have a calendar full of events. If you're around the area, please join our volunteer call outs. And also you could just buy merch. You can get a shirt. If you want to get a yard sign, all this stuff, it's on jacksonfranklinforcongress.com, and we'd appreciate all the help we can get.
Well, thank you for joining me. I will shake your hand and take your microphone.
Right on.
And then you're going to go into the interview too.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. You're going to be right back. I'm going to shut the door behind you. You ready, Derek? Thank you, Jack. Give me just 1 second. Get back just a bit. Okay, we're just going to write it down. Five things that summarize you as a person. Enter what are your main points that you want voters to remember about you as a candidate. Enter what's the last song in your head? What's the first job you ever had? What do you think are the responsibilities for someone in this elected office? What qualities? Hello. Do you just want to wait downstairs until? Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay, I just want to make sure somebody's down there. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, things are falling off my body. What was your first job? How long did you have it? What are the responsibilities for someone in this elected office? What qualities to possess do you think for this to be the right person? Books, movies to help they can better understand you. Okay. All right. And sit in the first chair, get you set up. We are already live streaming. We're just gonna keep going. Turn on these mics and give you one. Just clip it to your lapel and it turned off. Where did it go? We're gonna do this again. We're having lots of technical difficulties right now. Always.
Life is a technical difficulty.
It's so true. Let's try this again. Where is it? Okay, there we go. All right. We will get there. This is the first live event we've done, so appreciate you working with us.
This is my second interview, so.
Amazing.
First one's-
Oh, awesome. Great. Love Derek. So first tell our audience who you are and what you're running for.
I am Austin Mivas. I live in Peru, Indiana, running for District 23, State House of Representatives, running against Ethan Manning.
What made you want to run?
So I wasn't involved in politics until a year ago. I went to some No Kings protests, reached out to the party chair reached out to me for the county.
Mm-hmm.
We started talking about maybe a local run, like city council, county commission, or county council, stuff like that. And so 2026 was right around the corner.
Yeah. I'm just going to frame this a little bit better so that you're in the both frames so that people aren't looking at nothing. Go ahead.
And we looked at the calendar and saw 2026 was around the corner. This was around December, last December. So, you know what? Shoot for it.
Okay.
We didn't think anyone was running against Ethan Manning. There was no declared candidate. So let's try state.
Awesome. Well, tell me 5 main points that you would want a voter to remember about you.
I'm a worker.
Okay.
I work at, I can't say who my current employer is.
That's okay.
But I work in the meatpacking industry. I work refrigeration at the meatpacking industry. So I get to be responsible for hazardous chemicals, power usage, water usage. Like I see the industrial side of a lot of stuff and the infrastructure side of it. We need to heavily invest in infrastructure.
Okay. In Indiana specifically, you want to invest heavily in our infrastructure in electricity, roads. What are you thinking?
Infrastructure.
All of it.
All of it. Our roads are crumbling. Our power lines are seeing extensive use. Like my neighborhood sees not frequent blackouts, but as we are seeing increased power demand, the power is fluctuating a little bit.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. We're using more power than we create here.
Yes.
But let's switch gears a little bit. What's the last song you had stuck in your head?
Ooh. Song stuck in my. I think that song by Kato. Ooh, come on, baby, turn the lights on.
Oh yeah.
I found that song and I just blare it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good song.
It's a good song.
What was your first job and how long did you have it?
I was delivery driver for Pizza Hut.
Okay.
I held that for a year and a half. Then I went to a mom and pop pizza joint.
Okay.
Because Pizza Hut cut my hours.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. And then what are the responsibilities of someone who is elected to this office?
So House of Representatives, you are supposed to be representative, but it's in the name. You're supposed to represent the people of your district. I tried calling the current incumbent in the past, and I never got a response.
Oh my goodness, not in Indiana.
Not in Indiana, right?
Shock.
A friend of mine actually cornered the guy at a conservation meeting and did not get any pleasant answers out of him. So my goal is to represent the people.
Okay.
Hold town halls before legislative session so they know what's on the ballot, what to expect me to vote for, and so I can get their opinions on what they want me to go with.
Instead of going with your own
Yes.
thoughts? Oh,
What lines my pocket? Because
all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's how novel of you for Indiana. All right. So what makes you qualified for this position?
I put my name on the ballot.
Okay.
I'm very much a newcomer when it comes to politics. I wasn't raised with a political bone in my body. I see an issue with our government. I don't see anyone running to fix the issue. I'm a worker. I see a problem I need to get fixed.
Okay. Tell us about what you feel needs to change in Indiana in regards to education.
So I don't have kids.
Mhm.
I was homeschooled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I actually had a meeting with a principal in my district so I could get some perspective in the challenges facing local schools. They're facing a serious budget crisis with the property tax cut the past year ago. One school alone, and there's 3 in my county, like 6 different schools in my district. The smallest schools among them is losing $140,000 this year. They're losing 150 next year and 160 the year after. We need to fix the property tax cut. Like, property taxes affect the most retired, the oldest among us, hardest. And we need to find some way to work out so older people can stay in their homes, of course. But at the same time, those that hold the most land get the biggest breaks.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure where we go from there, but we need to modify how we're currently doing our financials for the schools.
Yeah, I agree. Our schools, it's so wonky how it's like some schools get a lot of funding and then other schools have no funding. And that doesn't seem like equal opportunity to me personally. But do you have a book or a movie or an essay that people can go and read or watch that would make them better understand you as a person?
No, nothing off the top of my head.
A movie that really spoke to you, or even a song, like what inspired you? Like, for instance, some people would say, like Jackson just said that he loves the Bernie Sanders books. For instance, Bernie Sanders really inspired him.
Bernie Sanders did really inspire me in 2016. Sanders was the first person I ever voted for because I went to vote in the primary for Sanders. And then when he lost, I voted for Hillary. It wasn't the biggest fan, but I understood the danger that Trump was.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
As far as like books, I'm reading one right now. If anyone builds it, everyone dies. It's a warring story about superhuman AI, superhuman intelligent AI.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this book.
And it's got some good points. It's very much sensationalized to sell, but what book is it these days?
I mean, it's like iRobot, right?
Yeah. I mean, anything super intelligent that doesn't think like an actual living creature, it's an alien intelligence to us.
True. Very true. Well, tell me a little bit more about your campaign. Are there any issues that you really want the voters to remember about your campaign?
It's very much a grassroots effort.
Explain what that means.
So as it stands, like my partner is here with me showing support. At the bulk of it, though, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a team. I think Thursday I interviewed for a social media coordinator.
Okay.
Beyond that, the campaign manager is me. The person handling the finances is me. It's a lot of the event planning is me.
So you have a lot of responsibilities, what I'm hearing. It sounds like you need volunteers more than you need money.
Yeah.
So
I also need that because I've got like $57.
Okay. So where can people go if they want to donate to you or if they wanted to volunteer?
So I've got an Act Blue. That is where I'm trying to send all the donations through because it helps with the reporting side of it. As far as volunteers, I haven't looked at that much.
Is there an email that they could contact you?
AustinMivas@gmail.com is my campaign email.
Okay.
You can follow Mivas for Indiana State House 23 on Facebook.
Okay.
And I think my social media coordinator set up a whole bunch of socials. She wrote them down. Yeah. So Austin Mivas State House 23. Sorry.
Okay.
Instagram, Blue Sky, Substack, Beacon's page. I'm not quite sure what that is, but she's taking care of that for
And
me.
Mavis is spelled how?
Mivis.
Oh, Mivis it's MEIVES.
Yes.
So in case you want to go and volunteer, but let's talk about healthcare in Indiana. No, actually, let's talk about utilities because that is something that you would be able to help with.
Yes.
What's going on with these utilities?
So a lot.
How do we fix it? That's what needs to happen.
That is what needs to happen. So first things first, I've got people in my area. They have complaints about solar farms, and I understand the complaints. No one likes seeing solar panels on farmland.
They could go over parking
They
lots.
could go over parking lots. They could go over industrial roof spaces. I mean, if we're going to build all these data centers, put them on the roof of the data centers.
Makes sense to me.
That definitely beats SMR, which is small modular reactors, which don't. The last time when the U.S. Army was developing SMRs, it blew up.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Is that like something Mile Island? Is that
No, 3 Mile Island was a
nuclear?
reactor.
Oh, okay.
That was an place. An SMR is a modular reactor, about the size of a freight container.
Okay.
They're designed to be small, compact, move.
Okay.
And while with proper regulation, nuclear can be safe-ish. We all remember Chernobyl. We all remember Fukushima. No one wants that in their backyard. I have high hopes for fusion technology.
Yeah.
And recent lab tests have given out more energy than was taken to produce the fusion reaction. It's just hard to contain it right now. We're working on containment fields.
So it sounds like your idea is just make it so we have more sustainable energy.
More sustainable. Fusion technology is the power of the sun on Earth.
Okay. Okay. I like that. But tell us one more time where people can volunteer if they want to, because I want you to say it again.
If you really want to volunteer, you can reach out to me on my email. Until I get a volunteer coordinator, I'll be doing all the hands-on. So you'll get to talk directly to me. And if you need my number, my whatever cards, I left all my cards in my truck. All my cards have my number on it because whenever I distribute them, I want my constituents to have a direct line to me. I'm a representative of people, not someone you have to go through 2 or 3 people to contact.
So if you were to win, like, would people be able to contact you directly?
Oh yeah, my phone's on me all the time. That's got my cell phone on it.
Okay. So let's say you go forward, because we have a little time. So I'm just going to give you some hypotheticals. Let's say you win and somebody is like, hey, I don't like these fusion reactors, and they send you an email. How are you going to react to that?
Your concerns are valid. It's with any new technology, it is understandable to be apprehensive. But look at the reaction to AI, which, to be fair, is a valid reaction. It's a consumer of massive amounts of electricity and water for a crap product.
True.
You have to present every new technology with it's a cost-benefit analysis. What's it cost for the new technology? What's it benefit? If the costs are more than the benefit, well, it's not a good technology.
Sounds like we need more transparency.
We definitely need more transparency.
Okay. So would we expect your office to be transparent?
100%.
Okay. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's really been nice getting
Nice
to
meeting
know
you.
you. I will take that lapel micro back. And it looks like Jackson and them are still going on.
Oh,
So we didn't talk about how we're going to do this. Would we like switching over like this?
Well, if you need me off screen, I can wait.
Yeah, like I need to just take a minute and get something to drink myself. We'll be right back, folks.
Peace. Yeah, I've seen some of your stuff on Substack.
Oh, good.
Interview.
Yeah, I'm so glad people could make it and it's working out. You wanna watch for a second? Yeah. I just want people to know this is.
A meet and greet.
It's like a kind of like speed dating or so we're trying to make sure this stuff out. I know mine is gonna go like I'm gonna edit out like the pauses and the downtime, and it's gonna go on my podcast as well. So it's just really like I wanted to give you guys a way to get headshots done at a reasonable rate. Get some like name recognition. Oh, nice. Yeah. So, but like get some name recognition out and just help you guys out more than anything. Because it would be nice to help. Because that's kind of why we need more Democrats in office.
Like that's what my social media platform is.
Oh, wow, that's really good. Should do a good job.
Yeah, I went to Fort Wayne. Same suit.
Nice,
Same.
nice. Yeah, party together, man.
It's been very. It's been very fast.
Oh, yeah. Everything, it just, these, like last year, this year.
Well, right now, to it's just been.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna use the networking so that maybe it'll start a training reaction. There are signs. There just looks like a big rocket ship.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, that's cute. You know, dear, thank you again for coming. I appreciate it. Brianna. Nice. Oh, have a good one. Perfect. Come on in. Thank you. You're gonna sit.
Here, I'm gonna put this out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Should I grab a water?
If
How
you-
long are we gonna be doing this?
So these are like about 10-ish minutes.
Okay, let me grab one.
Yeah, that's fine. I gotta
She's
turn
gonna
it.
get choked up.
You're good.
I decided to go full natural because, I can be a good example for those girls and women that are like.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I have so much rosacea.
All right, where do you want this?
Just on your lapel is fine.
Here or here?
Either way. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming. Well, let's start out telling everybody who you are, what you're running for.
I'm Tabitha Ziegler. I'm running for US Rep of the 8th District.
Amazing. And what made you want to run?
I'm just tired of all the shit.
What are 5 things that you want people to remember about your campaign? Or you?
Okay. Lifelong Hoosier, have roots in Indiana for about 200 years. I'm very much a person of the people, and I care about kids and people with disabilities.
And what was your first job and how long did you have it?
Well, the very first job, because I worked on a farm, because I come from a farming family.
Oh, okay.
So I would say probably like 5 or 6 years old, picking up rocks.
Okay. What was your first
Payable job?
payable job? Yeah.
I would say it would be in the restaurant industry.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I was in that group.
I was a waitress.
As soon as I
One
was
time.
14, I was like, right, I need to be part of the working class so I can make my own money.
Yeah, that's great. Sounds like you're a hard worker. What's the song you had stuck in your head last?
That's a hard one.
Do you not get songs stuck in your head? Like
I
everywhere?
totally do. I
Yeah.
totally do. I can't think of one specifically right now, actually.
Are they blending together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I've been listening to more videos of people talking. So I would say if I can bypass the song, I've been listening to a lot of Martin Luther King speeches lately.
Oh, cool.
So that's the thing that's bouncing around my brain lately.
Okay, hey, that works. What are the responsibilities for someone in your office that you're running for?
Well, I think that, first and foremost, you just have to represent your people well. Because if you don't represent your people well, what's the point?
You're representing yourself,
Exactly.
so that doesn't work.
Yeah.
What qualities do you have that makes you feel like you're fit for this position?
Well, I've lived abroad, traveled abroad, speak different languages. I've spent a good amount of time in DC. I have an interest in politics, maybe that supersedes what some other people might. If you want to say, I'm one of those that just once I get my teeth stuck into something, I'm just not going to.
Okay, all right. And is there a book or a movie or an essay somebody could go read to kind of get to know your thinking process or more about you that you really resonate with?
They should just listen to my podcast.
Oh, well, that's perfect. Which podcast?
Staring Down the Storm, Autism Advocacy in America. I don't sugarcoat it, so, you know.
You don't.
No, we just tell it like it is. So if you want to know about me, you should listen to those podcasts because I don't hold back.
Yeah, what do you talk about on your podcast usually?
We talk about all the things, everything that interconnects with disability, with autism, with the neurodiverse community. We've started to have some really good conversations about race, colonialism. We're just really covering it all. Anything and everything that touches the American public right now.
And what made you start that podcast?
Well, whenever President Trump was elected, I was one of those that all my spidey senses kicked in. And I was like, I got to do something about this. And then, you know, we had RFK that came in right away. And I was like, no, this is bad. And so I started to advocate within the community, and this podcast is part of that.
Amazing. So let's talk about some of the issues in Indiana. What do you think the biggest issue for your campaign is? Or the big 2-3 issues?
I think it depends on who you ask, but I'm not an establishment Democrat. I am a registered Democrat. I've pretty much always voted Democrat, with a few exceptions. But people are really convinced right now that you need a lot of money to run. And I think that's in opposition with what people want. Like, they really want authenticity. They want to get to know people. I don't think they want big money in politics. So
you're a grassroots campaign.
yeah, I'm grassroots, but I think I'm very aggressively truth.
Okay. And you think that's what people are looking for right now?
I think so, because I think there are people on both sides that are inauthentic, and they're taking, you know, large money from other outside sources that aren't good for Hoosiers.
No, I think that when you take money from big companies, you're kind of then there's strings attached, right? Because
Absolutely.
if you want them to fund your next campaign, that means you've got to do what they want. So if you're a grassroots campaign, you don't have to do that, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your thoughts on the school system in Indiana and the voucher program.
Well, everybody needs access to public education, free education. And I've actually had the benefit of living in other countries to see how that works, and to now watch our institutions drift farther and farther away from that, farther and farther away from that premise that everyone has the right to be educated. And then we get into the charter school area and taking public funds to basically give to rich white kids that they don't need any help.
Yeah, it turns into a coupon for them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think the problem, but a lot of Hoosiers are struggling right now because of utility costs. What do you think is causing it? What's the solution?
Well, everything bounces back to money. And we should follow the money and find the coalescence between all of these organizations and trying to drive up costs for regular Hoosiers, because there's a way that we can cut costs. But if we don't get money out of politics, and we don't stop as politicians, as candidates, taking big money with big influence, I don't think we'll ever find a solution for that.
Okay. Let's say you win and somebody sends you an email and they disagree with what you're doing. How would you handle that?
I'd ask them to sit down for a coffee and say, let's talk.
Okay. So you want to be an accessible politician.
Absolutely, because I feel like, you're a public servant. You're supposed to speak for your people. And I was extremely irritated whenever I saw politician after politician shutting the door on people, especially disability rights advocates who would take their time, put their disabled child in their car with the special wheelchair, drive all the way to Washington, D.C., go up the steps, haul the equipment just to try and talk to these people. And they couldn't be bothered. And I'm seeing that on both sides of the aisle. And, being a mom and an advocate, and a, longtime Hoosier, I don't feel like that's how we do business. And I think Hoosiers expect more from the people that are meant to represent them.
I agree. One thing that I learned this week, and I think this is a very weird law, is that did you know you cannot pursue an ADA claim if you work for a company with less than 15 people?
I was not aware of that.
I was not aware of that until this week, and I don't understand why such a law would exist. And to be completely honest, except to discriminate against people with disabilities. So I wanted to get your take on that because I know you're in the disability community as well.
The disability community is always served last. We're always given the scraps. We're always, we're sort of the last that is asked to tighten their belt and to shut up and to go away. And I think we should do the opposite of that.
Lift them up.
Yeah.
Because if we don't lift up these kids when they're young, you and I have talked about this before, like if they just need more support. If we don't help them when they're young and support them, they become more burden on taxpayers.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
So instead, if we shifted our focus on making our country more accessible and making it easier for people with disabilities, then that tax burden starts to go away. I don't know. It just seems like a very silly law that I would like to change.
Well, look, early intervention is best. Everybody knows that. So if you give everybody across the board the skill set to do what they need to do, they can be more independent. They can contribute more to society. They can have more fulfilling lives. And why wouldn't you do that? That seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree. So are there any laws going through the Congress, like going through Indiana's House and Senate right now that you wanted to bring attention to?
I think besides a specific one, I think what people should be drawing their attention to is the fact that you don't see disability rights advocates in these seats. So how can you truly represent a portion of your populace if you're not living that life? You're not having that experience. And it's different, right? Like I have autism. I have 3 kids with autism. I've been in the disability community for a while. I shouldn't speak on what it's like to live in a wheelchair because I don't do that. I can speak for autism, but I think disability rights advocates, because they have to struggle so hard, these are the type of people that you should put in those seats because they're going to advocate for everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, heck, you put me in that chair. It's like, I would just be like, well, they're a person too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see, just because you are differently able does not make me think of you as any less than or think that you are unable to do something. So I love that. I love these conversations because I'm sorry, this is such a tangent and I apologize to everyone. I just love, like, I know you and I both are very passionate about the disability rights community and everything.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get your take on some of that. But when it comes to voting, what do people need to know about you? Like when you're going to be given a piece of legislation, what are you considering before you decide to vote for or against it?
I would hope that I would have enough time to talk to as many people as possible.
Okay.
I want to get people's take on it because, like I said, everything bounces back to you are their representative. So essentially, it's not about me; it's about you guys. And then if you feel like that I accurately represent you, then I want to hear from you. Obviously, I can't field every single call, but if I can answer the email, answer the phone, respond to a text, even if
a reverse town hall, something.
Yeah, just any avenue that I can take to truly represent the people, especially the disability community, right? Because sometimes maybe you're bedbound, maybe you're housebound, maybe you have transportation issues. I want to make sure that if I get this nomination, that I'm speaking for everyone. And that definitely includes the disability community, who I think more often than not do not have accurate representation.
I would agree with that. Or they're very underrepresented, if represented at all. Well, tell people where they can go to find you, to donate, and to volunteer if they want to.
But we're still working on our website right now.
Okay.
But it's TapTheZiggler for Congress.com. And basically you can just find me on any of the social medias at Tap the Ziggler right now.
Yeah, or the,
Staring down the storm,
Exactly.
autism advocacy in America.
yes, exactly. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I always feel like we have too much to talk about, not enough time.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And then it looks like they're just messing around over there. And this will go on the podcast. It's just like I'm gonna actually edit it. So. And now it looks like you guys are just chatting. Yeah. Okay, no. I was like, I think I just friend too. I lost an earring back. This sucks. Did you go to Scott?
Yeah. Good.
Oh, you too. Thank you again for coming. It was so good to see you. I'm a hugger. I'm sorry. But good luck. I really hope you do well.
I have so much to do. I have so much to do. So day after I shave it, go to do that. Yeah. Huge, huge amount of protein C, sandwich. And share it, posting that to me, and I'm like, that's just amazing. It's in the whole year.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
We don't make it easy by being on chains. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if it was like, this even, like.
Yeah.
it would not be.
Big deal. No, it wouldn't. You too. Try to stay
Shit.
Okay, we are just waiting for the next person to arrive and get their photos done. So I'm gonna turn the light back on and I guess I'll talk to you guys. I don't know, maybe I'll just film some stuff while we're waiting. Go. And we're chilling. Oh, the stupid light. There we go, that's better. All right, we are just waiting for the next set of candidates to arrive. So thank you for staying tuned. It looks like Michael Potter should be the next person up. I'm going to double check that though. Yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 people left. Yeah. So we got 7 people that we're waiting on. I'm coming TikTok, hold on. Okay, there we go. But this is the first event that I have ever done. This is kind of my child. We're just interviewing a lot of different people who are running for different positions throughout Indiana. We've had people running for US Congress, we've had people running for state positions. But the idea of this event is just so that you can get to know who these people are in short format. You don't have to listen to this big, long interview. You can just listen to a 10 or 20-minute interview. So all of this is going to be on my podcast later, but I just wanted to explain what it is we're doing and why we're doing it. There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know. What do people want to talk about while we're waiting? Maybe I'll just bring Tabitha back in here. We're just waiting for the next person to talk.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, oh, yeah. Oops. Whoopsie. We'll just put that in there. All right. Yeah. Oh, no, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, great. You can go and right into pictures if you were ready. Yep, right in here. You're gonna go here. She's doing the other. See, I remember the kid. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go meet you real quick. I just can't find a good way I want this to be, y'all. I just want people to not feel like I'm sitting on top of them is the main thing. I just keep switching how I'm doing it because like I've got the vertical thing going for StreamYard and it's just annoying. There we go. Michael is Potter is here. He's coming through next.
How many pages?
There was like 11 people, but with Corey and instructing us are 10 people. So I think there's like 7 people still on the sign up. I'm trying to keep track of them
Yeah.
the best I can. How's Chris doing? What kind of kid? Does she know what kind of cancer it is? It's cervical, not uterine.
So she's scheduled for surgery.
Yeah, my son's got like uterine something carcinoma. She's like I said, she's blogging about it because like I guess it's like a super aggressive cancer. Like she was super lucky that she caught it so early.
Yeah.
But she still has to do like chemo and stuff, and she's just kind of like talking about. I don't know if she does or not, but like she's just talking about how this time is different for her chemo wise.
Yeah, she's taking chemo.
Okay. Are you looking for the event? Okay. You can have a seat if you'd like. There's somebody getting the pictures taken, but once they come out, it'll be your turn.
My tie at home, so unless there's a tie floating around here, I need to schedule the shot.
The photographer might have a tie. So I would wait and see it before you make that call, probably. I don't know the tie. You're not the only one.
Corporate news.
Or Scott's tie. Sounds good. I think his name is Chance. Are you Jan? Yeah. Want to respect everyone's time. Okay. You never say it yourself. I'd say it havoc. I don't know if Jake Chance is going to show up because he didn't show up for his.
Jack Chance. Yeah, he's a larger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he signed up twice, but like he's not shown up.
He said that he was.
I wonder if he forgot.
Or if there was a traffic issue.
That could be.
I mean, I don't know. But now it's coming at 65. He'd be coming down 31.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Even
Go ahead.
No, I was just like, I figured if even people didn't show up, this is like still making it. What were you gonna say?
Go ahead.
No, that's fine. So she's doing pill chemo.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, she's Christy.
Trucking.
Yeah. So trying to keep everything else.
Together.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's probably always the hard part.
That and just found out yesterday. I had leukemia stage.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the bad. That's the one that it like really starts affecting them, right?
Well, they're saying 8 years. So,
Huh.
I mean, 8 years, that's not.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Come on and have a seat, and I'll get you mic'd up.
I received the-
Kick you out, then.
Oh, I didn't do a picture.
Oh no, you didn't get a picture with the
Just put it on my.
duck. Borrow one of your ties. He forgot his tie.
Oh, yeah.
He did. Would you like to borrow a tie?
Either or.
This works.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Oh, maybe no, that's too many strokes.
Too many strikes. How was traffic getting up?
It was not good.
Oh, really?
Just like right here downtown where it splits, and that line was long. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna hop off on Raymond, and I jumped off, and Shelby is blocked. Then it sends you through.
Oh, yeah, all the construction.
Yeah.
Here's the mic. Well, I'm glad you made it. It's always nice to see everyone in person.
Yes. Thank you for doing this.
Of course. Well, let's start with just your. Yeah, it's like we've got two things going. So this is like that one's going to TikTok, this one's going to everywhere. So you can talk to either one, it doesn't matter. But first, just start out telling us your name and what you're running for.
Michael Potter, and I'm running for Indiana House District 47.
What made you want to run?
I wanted to run to bring a little bit of science into the State House. Well, I actually don't. I'm sure there are some scientists in there, but particularly when it came to the LEAP district and the way they talked about water use, groundwater, aquifers, waters of the state of Indiana. I'm a geologist, and that's what I've been working on for 25 years. So I felt it was time to get involved in the State House because there was not any good logic happening there.
They're not using experts, it seems.
No.
Well, tell me 5 things that you want people to remember about you or your campaign.
Wow, 5 things.
Well, we could do 3 or 5. I like 5. It was a round number.
Well, I'm a grassroots candidate, so counting on my neighbors and the district to fund me as much as possible. And I am a scientist, and so I take that kind of scientific method with me to really with everything I do, not just not just my work or science, but kind of the way I approach things.
Hard to turn that type of science brain off.
It is, yeah, definitely. And are you talking like, I guess, because I don't know what the other questions are coming. Like campaign wise,
Yeah,
or
you can-
like platform wise,
Like platform or
I
campaign.
feel like this is more like maybe my history. No, well, number 3 is my wife is running for the Democratic nomination for Secretary of State, and that's been going really well. It's been fun to work together on that. Last night we had an event together in Shelby County. That was exciting, and they did a great. Shelby County Democrats put on a great platform for everyone.
I have three children, three daughters. So, you hear people in women's rights, or as you would know, always a big issue. And a lot of people, it's like, well, everyone has a mom, right? So I have a mom and grandparents, and but I also have my wife and three daughters to look out for. So I want to be able to pass on the best possible life to them.
Absolutely.
So that's four things. That's kind of what comes to mind.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love it. Well, tell me what song was stuck in your head recently.
What song?
Mhm.
Oh, man. You need to give me some heads up. I have such a weird relationship with music, in that I love it, but I don't focus on anything, or I don't actually purchase a lot of music.
Okay.
I just take what's given to me. I actually have gone back. Dave Matthews Band's always been a big influence for me since the early 90s.
Can you understand what he's saying?
I can understand what he's saying. Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to him for a long, long time, but I kind of got recently purchased a new car. It turns out it's a bit of a lemon, but I got that free subscription to Sirius satellite radio, and they have all the individual artist stations. And so I was listening back to his station, and he is quite a protester activist in his
Really?
music. Yeah,
Okay.
quite a bit. He's also been speaking out quite a bit at his concerts
Awesome.
for against the current MAGA regime. And so I would just say kind of re-listening to with a different ear, the ear of a politician, which is not where I was when I was in college in the 90s.
Yeah.
That was not the ear I had. It was more about living free and young and exploring. And he speaks to that, but then why are we exploring is because of for him, he has some South African roots, and experienced the suppression there, and seeing that kind of thing happening here.
That's really interesting.
Crazy.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's really cool. My first degree is in vocal performance, so music degree.
Oh.
So I find that stuff very interesting, like the history of people, how they come to create their music. But tell me about the first job you ever had.
Oh, my first job. I love my first job. I grew up spending my summers in New Jersey. Both of my parents are from New Jersey. And so my grandparents, my mom's parents, had two little bungalows, which they don't even really do out there. I don't even know if any communities do much of the bungalow anymore, kind of the single room or maybe a one bedroom house, in a beach area. So
Kind of like a condo kind of thing.
well, no, it's like a small hut.
Okay,
House. And it's bigger than a hut.
Like a studio?
Well, it's where we stayed most of the time was the size of the room we're in,
Okay.
but it had actually had two separate small bedrooms and a bathroom and kind of a kitchenette.
Mhm.
But I just say that as we didn't have a house on the beach in New Jersey.
Mhm.
It was a bungalow
Sure.
on the bay side. And so we would get out there. My mom was divorced when I was at a very young age, so she wanted to be there close to her family and friends. And so we'd go out and we spent 3 months. Within the week of school ending, we would leave, and then we'd come back within a week of school starting. And so grew up there, and then I believe it was 13, it was illegal. I worked in the back of a bakery, scraping their floors and their pans. And the stack of donut pans was higher than my head.
I'm sure it was.
And we worked, me and my buddy, it was down the street from the beach where we like to surf. So we'd often have our wetsuits and surfboards right there in the back, get changed, and then, clean up the back of the bakery and be rewarded. We got to, get a free snack, a donut or a brownie. And we got paid, I don't even know what we got paid. Not much. And I very likely, I know I spent my first paycheck on my way home.
Okay. All right. So you surf. Do you still surf?
I wish I could. One of the things that I've proposed to the town of Bartersville, Indiana, is There's just this one stretch where they're redeveloping. It's along a railroad track. Of course, we need retention ponds. Like if you build a mile long, because it's that whole our country mile, a mile long retention pond for everything you want to build, like why don't we make a mile long wave pool?
That'd be cool.
You know, they've come to be more popular, and they're not cheap, but you see them more and more. Even they're doing competitions in them, so kind of making that artificial wave. And
that could bring some tourism to Bartersville.
That's why I was like, what do we do? What do we do different? What I really like, when I think about, when I live in Bartersville, when I think about that area is what can we do to make common spaces for families? Like, you know, if you want bars and nightlife, I mean, there'll certainly be restaurants and that, but most of that, you know, you can go to Franklin, you can go to Greenwood, you can come downtown. But one thing we don't have a lot of is open, common loitering space for teens and families, and so that's how
the second space.
Yeah. And I kind of I hope as they develop in Bartersville that they don't just squeeze every house into every inch, but also provide some mixed use space and some open walking space and that kind of stuff.
That would be nice. I know that a lot of families in Indiana are always looking for free indoor things to do with their kids.
Yeah, certainly indoor. I'd like to see that space be indoor, outdoor. And I kind of picture in my head almost like large greenhouses.
Oh, cool.
So, and you know Bartersville at all? You know the flea market? Have you heard about it? So Bartersville had it's like a historically famous flea market, and that it was big, and the people would cross State Road 135. So that's probably what most people know. It's like, why are these people just like mobbing this road, trying to get down to Brown County? It's probably why most people would be on that road at that point. And
like the is that the same thing as the 40 garage sale? Is that different?
No,
That's different.
Yeah. And well, they took the flea market away. It started getting a little rogue, some kind of odd live animals that weren't vetted, and so you know people could buy a live chicken, or maybe possibly well, here's the chicken, but here's the chicken's buddy, and it's cut up, right? Like, here, buy this out of my cooler. And so the town wanted to permit that a little bit, and people didn't like it, and there was a conflict, and then the town said, well, if you're not going to, permit your vendors, then we're going to shut it down, which is reasonable. I think there should be some standards to safety standards to buying stuff. But anyway, I also look at that open space as a way to maybe bring back the spirit of the flea market, in that it would be kind of a flea market, farmers market sort of space. I'm not sure what the difference is between a flea market and a farmers market, at least how it presents in today's world. I know at one time a farmers market would have been more farm produced food, but now it's always just a mixed bag of local whatnots. And we love our farmers market. And Bartersville has a good one. Franklin has a really good one down in House District 47.
Yeah. The only one that I know that's good is Irvington, but that's an Indy.
Yeah.
But tell me, what do you think the responsibilities for someone selected in the office you're running for?
We have to work for the people, and that's now like kind of my slogan. It's time for our government to work for the people, and really not the opposite way. And that is what it feels like. We're like working to pay our taxes to keep the government running, to not help us. So we need more people in office that focus on the governance part. The politics are one thing. That's the popularity contest we do here to potentially win a seat. But then once you do that, you have to switch over into the work part, the governance, and working. In my case, it'd be for the people. I was just listening to a podcast on the way here, and they were talking about, you're either kind of for the big corporation and billionaires, or you're for the people. And there's kind of been a pretty solid line drawn between those two. And I'm a for the people kind of person.
Amazing. What qualities do you possess that make you think that you would be ready for this office?
I'm a good listener. I have no guess, no real aspiration to be popular in the sense like I'm not doing this to be famous. And I feel like a lot of politicians are like, I want to hold this seat because that makes me elevated in society or something like that.
Springboard you to something else.
Potentially a springboard to another office. Again, they're focusing on the popularity and being famous instead of focusing on the people. I do bring a little bit different lens with the science background, and that I've done that for 25 years. And it's not just like chemistry in the lab, but it's earth science. So it's our drinking water, the air we breathe, the soil we farm, and how that all functions together with the society. Because what I've done for 25 years is consult companies on how to navigate regulations and produce what they want, whether it be gasoline or a widget, a piece of plastic, and not be just polluting our waterways and our air and all that kind of stuff. And it's really pretty simple if you have a good consultant like me.
Yeah, I would love to
But
have someone like you in our General Assembly, because our water quality, air quality is so bad.
and it's pretty fixable. Even one thing that's nice, and we saw this during COVID, is they pushed regulations back a little bit, or Trump's first term. And most of the companies, especially the international companies, they are sticking to the original goals. And most big international companies, or actually many, have stricter goals for themselves than even the regulations. They want to be sustainable. Good environmental stewardship, good sustainability, and resiliency is good for the bottom line. It may not be in any given 1 year, but for the length of a company, it's definitely important.
Yeah. So tell me what your number 1 and 2 priorities are issues-wise on your platform.
Well, we've talked a lot about it, but the environment's a big one. But it's not really the one people talk about the most, right?
Not right now.
Not right now. So that's kind of always an underlying thing for me. And I can spin or I can point out the environmental issues with almost any realm, whether it's just like stock market trading, business building, or want to swim in your local reservoir or creek or whatever. But what we know, and talking to people, and you hear it with whether it's a one-on-one conversation or it's the news, is affordability. So figuring out a way to lower taxes, lower the cost of goods, or raise pay rates. Talked about this at our meeting last night. CEO or executive pay should show the same type of slope as worker pay. And right now, executives' pay rate increases substantially faster than worker pay. I have nothing against people becoming millionaires if they're paying their taxes, they're doing work the right way, and they're paying their workers who are doing the heavy lifting. Yeah, sure, they've worked hard and they've built this up. I think the last thing I heard before I got in the car is, yeah, they talk about bootstraps, but most billionaires started out as millionaires. So, having that capital to work with certainly helped. But we need things to be more affordable for the everyday citizen. And then 2, healthcare. That, again, really rolls right into affordability. I would love to see a universal healthcare type platform. It doesn't make sense to hold people hostage with healthcare and tying them to jobs we have the marketplace, but now the marketplace that has I think it's lived its life as it was proposed. And of course, it's what we have is not the original plan of Barack Obama. It was the plan that he could get passed, which was a monumental step. I think we all forget about how big of a step it was to even have an insurance plan separate from our workplace. Premiums are expensive, and it's amazing what our corporations have done. Of course, they pool us all together. They get a cheaper rate than any of us individually, which is what we'd like the government to do. But we need to work on a healthcare plan that is affordable for everyone.
You mean
And
that doesn't cost $1,000 a month for 2 people
yeah,
or more?
yeah. I mean, I recently got pushed into it, and I'm getting, and it's a little weird situation because I work for a small company out of Massachusetts, and they're covered by a state plan in Massachusetts, but that plan doesn't cover out-of-state employees. So they pay me to go on the marketplace, but again, family insurance is a lot, and it's only, it's so much that the only thing we need insurance for is a catastrophe. Everything else is like we just don't have that many bills. And I've been through 3 pregnancies. I have 3 children. We've had a major neck surgery for one of my daughters.
Thyroid thing.
Well, it's a thyroductal.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
there's a little cyst that gets in one of your ducts in your sinus to thyroid space. Anyway, but you don't spend $30,000 a year regularly, and that's the premium part. That doesn't count then your deductible, and then beyond there, like, so it needs to say we're still battling through figuring out where to go with insurance. So
Absolutely. Well, tell us, is there a book or a movie or an essay or podcast that people can go and seek out to get and to understand who you are as a person better?
Jurassic Park. I do love Jurassic Park, and I love when they get those doctors, those geologists, anthropologists, paleontologists, that we need your expertise. That would be fun to have somebody come to me like that. One that I haven't watched in a while, so I don't know exactly how it fits, but Robin Williams movie, What Dreams May Come.
Oh, interesting.
I always, when I first watched that for a long time, was like, yes, that's what it's about. So we can all go and watch that and see how it fits my life again.
Okay.
'Cause I probably haven't seen that for 15, 20
Yeah.
40 years.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell us where people can find you if they want to donate or volunteer for your campaign.
If you want to donate, you can just come visit me and here in Miami. You can find me on all social media at Friends of Michael Potter, and my website is friendsofmichaelpotter.com, and you can email me at friendsofmichaelpotter@gmail.com. So Friends of Michael Potter is pretty much where you can find me.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to shake your hand and then take the lapel mark, and then I will have you go on to the next interview. No, he's just chatting with
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Here. And this is going to go on the podcast too, but it's all going to be edited. I'm going to edit out transitions and stuff like that. So watch for that. Thank you. Thank you. I told Wyatt to try after she got it done, and I got my headshot in, and I was just like, hey, would you be interested in doing that?
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you. Ashley, come on in. You want to sit in the first chair? That's cool. You can just sit yourself on the table. Just this. Just. Yeah.
It actually coordinates well with my
good.
my hat. I wanted to make sure I got a hat picture.
Oh, yes, of course.
This.
You can put it on your lapel right here, just like a clip. There you go. Just a microphone. So let's start out with telling me what your full name is as it'll appear on the ballot and what you're running.
My full name is Warren Ashley Hammock II, and I'm not sure exactly how it's going to appear on the ballot, but something like that. I go by my middle name, Ashley Hammock. So if you hear Ashley Hammock, then that's me.
Okay. And what are you running for?
I'm running for state representative of District 16.
And where's that at?
That's up around Brookston. If you go up north on the I-65, on I-65 towards Chicago, it's the Brookston West Lafayette exit where I live. I live in Brookston. That's kind of the southern edge, battleground. It's all on the southern edge of the district, and it goes all the way up to DeMott and kind of all around.
Oh, really? I used to live in Demont, actually. That's funny. Small world. So tell me the main, like up to 5 main points about you, who you are as a person that you want voters to know.
So I guess one thing is I'm not a politician. I'm a dad and a soil scientist. I'd much rather be doing those things than doing this. I feel like we're at a time where regular people need to step out of their comfort zone and engage in self-governance. And so, you know, one of the reasons why I'm running is because I wouldn't be able to look my kids in the eye and tell them I did everything I could for our republic to save it if I didn't run for office. I'm not really in a position to be able to either, but I can. And I want to show other people, like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be articulate necessarily. You don't have to be, you know, well-educated. You can, you know, throw your name in the hat. You just need to be engaged in your community. And if running's not your thing, then, you know, we need, you know, there are other ways you can support voting at every election, voting with your feet, voting with your wallet. All these are things that would make a difference to our republic. So I just want to get those messages out. That's kind of my main thing. And then professionally, I've worked in the area of conservation and conservation agriculture. So I'm seeing a lot of promoting of conservation practices, but kind of the powers that be and you know, the large like corporate powers that are in agriculture are kind of turning a deaf ear to a lot of conservation. So I'm going to do my best to do that. And then you know, I want to give a voice to the people that can't necessarily speak out or run. There are a lot of people that, you know, maybe they're vulnerable for some reason or another. They can't run for office. I want to be the voice of those people, people that are kind of having their voice taken away in a lot of ways. The redistricting thing was a big problem for me to see, you know, powers outside of the state come to the state to influence, peddle, and try to change the outcome of you know, the federal election by tampering with Indiana specifically. I didn't appreciate that. That to me is not, you know, I'm a middle of the road kind of person in terms of my political ideology. I would check my personal beliefs at the door in a lot of cases. I kind of believe that, you know, you need to be a steward and a representative, you know, and kind of balance that to the best of your ability. But to, you know, to have that redistricting take those congressional seats away, it was just un-American and not even, you know, that's not the last move, right? They see that as the last move. That's not the last move. So you can't just take someone's voice away and then nothing happen in response to that. You have to give people their voice.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to shift gears a little bit because we're just trying to get to know you. Tell me the last song you had stuck in your head.
Boot Scootin' Boogie.
That's an older one. All right.
There's a story behind that too.
Okay. Well, tell me what you think the responsibilities for someone holding the office you're running for are.
responsibilities. Well, first and foremost, I would say transparency. When I call my incumbent, my opposition, and ask for him to do something, I first of all I don't get a response, and then when I call back to find out, hey, what happened with this? The response is nothing happened, and then the reason why is because it's too complicated. And to me, that's that's just kind of brushing me aside. I feel that as they're just trying to just give me something that will make me go away, and stop talking to them. No one reached out to me after that to say, hey, what can we do to make this go through next time? None of that. I got the little generic survey that was done by a consulting firm, so yeah, we need to put transparency in politics and take money out of it. In terms of my campaign raising money, I've asked for small donations. I refuse to take money from a corporate PAC or anything like that. Not that they're going to send me any money; they know better, because I will send it back. But that to me, I think that getting the money out would kind of circumvent the need for putting on term limits, particularly for someone like the position that I'm running for is a 2-year term. So it already has kind of a limit. You have to go back and campaign and be accountable to the voters. And the reason why people get entrenched in those positions is because of the money.
Yeah.
It's the money that allows them to, power broker and things like that.
Absolutely. Well, tell me about, what was your first job you had?
My first job I ever had, first like official job.
Yes.
Where,
But you got paid for it.
that I got, had to file through the IRS.
Yes.
Was a bus boy at Red Lobster.
Oh man. Okay. I'm sure you learned a lot there.
I did. I did learn a lot in that position. It was, just hard work and not a lot of money, but it was something for me, and it taught me a lesson.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell me about the qualities that you think will help you in this position if you win.
I think I'm pretty good at analytical reasoning, and so whenever I see something that's happening that lawmakers have done, I can kind of sift through that and find out and kind of see more of like, okay, what's really happening here, following the money, things like that. One thing, having analytical reasoning, I think will help me greatly in this position.
Absolutely. And it sounds like just wanting to be transparent as well.
Yeah,
I think that's
sure.
a big one as well. Is there a book, a movie, essay, or podcast that you like, that you really resonate with, like this kind of shows who you are, that people could go watch or read?
Mm-hmm.
Or anything that maybe inspired you?
I tell you, one movie that I really like, just for cinematic value, is There Will Be Blood. Daniel Day-Lewis. Maybe sound like an odd choice, but he's a really great actor in that movie, and you can kind of get a really good understanding of what a malignant narcissist personality type is like, because he plays a malignant narcissist in that movie, and he's an oil prospector.
Okay.
And it's if you haven't seen There Will Be Blood, definitely watch it.
Awesome. So tell me the top campaign policy that you would like to see if you win.
So I've actually already submitted a proposed bill to several lawmakers, including my opposition. It was their, my opposition's legislative assistant informed me that I had missed the filing deadline to file a bill. And I said, no, I didn't. It's 4 pages long. You can incorporate this anywhere anywhere you want to. It doesn't have to have my name on it. It doesn't have to have my title on it. But the name of that is called the Regen Ag Act, and it provides support for regenerative agricultural practices. It also provides support for developing new supply chains so that we can, develop agricultural and food production based jobs in my district. And so this bill would start with, protecting the soil and end up with selling a value added, high value food product that comes out of our district. And so the ripple effect that you have from something like that, developing the entire supply chain, is just kind of almost incalculable, but far, far greater than a solar project or an AI data center that we're being told is good for jobs.
Absolutely. Well, to finish up, tell people where they can find you if they want to donate or volunteer for your campaign.
So my website is ashley4indianahouse16.com. All of my socials are there, as well as my Act Blue. I have a PO box if you want to write a check. I'm also working on trying to figure out a way to donate anonymously. I know that there are some people that don't want to put their name out there and make their name public to donate to me. So I know that you can donate anything less than $100 in cash, and that has an anonymous, thing. But one thing I want to stay away from is the dark money association. I'm not interested in that type of anonymity. Just personal donations.
Small donations.
Yeah, to keep people in the community safe from being, retaliated against.
Absolutely. Well, Ashley, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I wish you well. I'll take the lapel mic, and then you're going to go over to the next interview, which is through here. So I'm going to just have you slip outside and
Sure.
wait for that.
I think
It
I
looks like there's
tapped my thing one time.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, this will go on my podcast as well, and I'm going to go through and edit anything like that out.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I think she did that. You. Have a seat in the first chair if you might mind. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Love the outfit.
Thank you.
Here's a little, thank you.
I appreciate that y'all are taking the time to set this up today.
Of course, I wanted to help out and help everyone out hopefully help you guys win, All right, well, let's just start out. Tell everyone your full name and what you're running for.
I'm Liliana Young, and I'm running for the Indiana House of Representatives in District 61.
Where is District 61?
That covers Bloomington.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. Love Bloomington. Tell me 5 things about you that you would want voters to know about you.
The biggest thing is I'm a worker. I'm not one of the lawyers or nepo babies or business people that make up most of our state legislature. I'm a family woman, so I know exactly what it's also like to worry about kids for like education or healthcare. So that's all teetering right now. I'm a democratic socialist, which does significantly separate me from my opponent. I'm not an establishment Democrat sort. I'm I don't shy away from human rights issues like immigration and trans rights problems. These are huge problems in our state right now. And most of my platform is extremely worker forward, and I'm here to uplift. I'll uplift everybody in the state, even people who don't like me, but all of the workers are who I'm really fighting for.
Even the people who don't like you, you'll fight for them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. So what's the last song you had stuck in your head?
Coheed Cambria, Someone Who Can.
Interesting. All right. I like Coheed Cambria. What was your first job that you had?
I worked at Arby's
Okay.
for a year or something.
Yeah. What are the responsibilities for someone in the office you're running for?
I believe it's not just about being there to write and sponsor legislation. I think being a legislator is also about knowing how to do things like contribute to controlling the narrative around the happenings in our state. It's about the willingness to call out things for what they really are. And in my perspective, that is calling evil for evil, because I think there's a lot of very real evil in our state right now. I think one of the big responsibilities is also continuing to earn your position, not just riding on your laurels and assuming that you're an incumbent and you can just kind of coast by and get reelected on that. So these are all things that I think are our responsibilities.
Okay. So tell me about a book or an essay or a movie that someone could go and read or watch or listen to that you really connect with, that would show us more about who you are as a person. Is a hard question.
I take a lot from a lot of different media. I can distill this down to two things, I think. First is Star Trek. I am a lifelong Star Trek fan, but in particular, I would say the Deep Space Nine series,
Okay.
because that is more often than not about people being faced with extremely difficult circumstances and decisions and having to make very, very difficult choices that might not necessarily seem like the most upstanding decisions, but they are what is necessary to genuinely save people and uplift the greater good.
Mm.
And that is something that I believe in, that you need to be willing to make very hard choices sometimes.
Yeah, let's talk about those hard choices. So if you were to win the position, how would you go about making those hard choices?
With what specific?
So like, let's say you get a piece of legislation, and whatever that legislation is, what is your thought process on how you evaluate whether it's something you vote for or if you vote against it?
My overarching political philosophy is that everything from a bill to an executive order to just like the direction of a department needs to fall in line with, does this uplift everybody?
Mm.
And if it doesn't, it's bad and should not be there.
What if it just doesn't uplift the top 1%?
I can.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I think that for me, this is just me talking. Like, I think it's like if it is going to benefit most people, 80-90% of people, I'm like, okay, that's legitimate, and the impact is that it will actually help people, not that it's going to like actually hurt us, kind of a thing. That's what I was just trying to get at. Well, how do you feel about transparency in office?
I don't think there's enough of it.
Okay, how would you be as a politician?
I've been trying to think about different things that I could do. just kind of a small idea I had is, I don't know, maybe I can figure out a way to implement some kind of a community report card that my constituents could fill out every so often. It would need a way to make sure that people outside of Bloomington aren't
Getting it.
muddying the waters, but it's a small idea. I would also want to work really closely with the county and city governments to keep in constant contact. You tell me what's going on, what are you seeing and hearing that people need, and I'll tell you what I've been working on, so that there's never a lack of communication there. And on top of that, I have ideas of legislation to introduce to make the government process a lot more accountable than it is right now.
Tell us more about that.
The two main ideas with this are adding steps to both the legislative process and the executive order process.
Okay.
As it is right now, like let's take executive orders. The governor can just write up an executive order, sign it, and it's done. And I hear a lot of people will say, you don't need to worry that much, executive orders aren't law, but it's an extremely powerful ability. It's how you direct the entire state, just a single document. My view is, I think that a governor needs to be able to justify to their constituents why this executive order is necessary. So I would want there to be a process where before the executive order can be signed and put into action, the governor has to have a direct mandated dialogue with residents of the state. They can come, make a whole thing of it. And you can spend up to, I don't know, 30, maybe 60 minutes per executive order answering questions directly from residents of the state. And I know that might slow some things down pretty heavily, but I would rather be slower and not damaging things than recklessly signing orders and bills that just don't do anything.
Yeah, or hurt people. It sounds like I've never understood the executive order thing and what the purpose is. It doesn't seem like we're using it for the purpose it was intended for. And it's just kind of gone a little crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
But are there other areas that you are very passionate about that you want people to know about on your platform?
One of the things related to the legislative process, but it's separate, is I'm also very invested in the idea of organizing the Democrats into a formal obstruction party.
Okay.
This is something that I think Republicans are really, really good at.
And what do you mean by this?
We've seen for many years, both federally and on state, all across the country, Republicans do a very good job of learning how to slow processes and throw in monkey wrenches, as it were. They know how to
Kill a bill.
They know how to kill a bill. They know how to create the public narrative regarding something.
We need PR. I agree.
And these are things that I don't believe Democrats are particularly good at. This plays into that Michelle Obama, they go low, we go high attitude.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something I believe in. And I don't believe that this actually serves people. It's when Democrats are so preoccupied with constantly taking the high road, they're not willing to fight dirty when they need to. And I think we have reached a point in the evolution of our politics where if we're really serious about pushing back against the harm that's been caused and regaining the power necessary to bring about good changes, we're gonna have to fight a little dirty.
Yeah, we need to use the tools at our disposal and be more effective. For what I hear you saying is not that fight dirty, just be more effective at making change in our legislature. And I don't think that's a bad thing or fighting dirty. It's things that you're right, the Republicans are doing. So why would we not take advantage of the same tools? It's like we're bringing a knife to a gunfight, essentially. So, but let's talk about, you're kind of in the southern area, and I know utilities are out of control there.
Mhm.
So do you have a solution that will help with utility prices?
One of the big things is, of course, this AI data center thing is their power consumption is being passed on to the residents of the state to foot the bill on. So as far as I'm concerned, all of those data centers need to go. I don't want a single one in the state. They don't have any benefits anyway. And that won't completely solve the problem, but it will take away the primary excuse.
Mhm.
So when you take away that primary excuse of having higher utility bills, then you can, after that, I think the state's just going to have to flex its muscle and force these utility companies to lower their prices somehow. That could be through legislation. I don't know if an executive order can tackle that or not, but something. The state does need to step in and use its power to force that.
Yes. And I know there was a bill that was introduced that would have lowered utilities immediately, but of course, Republicans didn't vote for it. And so I think in order to do that, we're going to have to break the supermajority in the state house. That's just what it is. So people have to vote. That's what it is. People have to vote for people like you and people that aren't in politics forever. And I think that's a good thing. Are you a grassroots campaign?
Completely. My campaign manager and I like to joke that I am so grassroots you can smoke me. Yeah, in fact, I'm running pretty threadbare most of the time on my campaign resources.
Well, where can people find you if they want to donate or they want to volunteer?
Youngfor61.com.
Okay.
That's my campaign website. I've got an email form on there. I'm checking my campaign email 5-6 times a day. So if you send me an email, I will almost certainly get back to you very quickly. If you want to donate, you got $5 or $10. It'd be amazing. It actually goes really far with what I need.
Or even, and like people don't think about this, you can donate like $1 a month or even like a couple dollars a month and do it recurring if that's easier. That really helps grassroots campaigns. If people have never thought about doing that, that's a great way to support grassroots candidates or multiple grassroots candidates if you can. But is there anything else you would like to leave the voters with before we sign off?
Part of the process of improving Indiana is not just about replacing Republicans with Democrats. It's also going to be about replacing a lot of the longstanding Democrats who have become part of the establishment. And even if they have good intentions, when you become part of the establishment like that, you can become part of the problem. And that's why I'm running against the Democratic incumbent.
Okay. Well, it was lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for coming today. I'll take the lapel mic back and I'm going to actually, since he's still wrapping up, I'm going to put a chair up there for you so you can sit down. No, that's a weird chair. We're not going to use that chair. I'm going to take this chair. Position. Good. I'm gonna like rearrange the chairs a little bit. Hello, I am. Oh, I'm sorry.
Where are you connected to?
Where am I connected to?
Yeah, who said you could use the space?
The photographer, Jason.
Jason, okay, it's fine. I just didn't know what's happening.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes, but please call twice.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. How long are you guys here?
We're gonna be here, we'll probably be out of here by 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you didn't know.
No, I have no idea.
So sorry about that.
And then also, if you can keep the people on this side, if you're kind of wandering in the gym, it's not for Jason's space.
Ooh, okay.
That's a tenant space that someone else pays for.
Oh, okay.
So,
Keep it in there. Gotcha.
yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I don't- Or not. Here, have a seat here. We're gonna deal with this real fast. I'm gonna make sure that Scott doesn't have to
You
leave.
gotta do, don't worry.
Yeah. I just wanna make sure that like Scott doesn't need something. So I'm gonna go check what's.
How are you, bud? I'm doing all right. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm like, I didn't know this was gonna be an issue. He's like, no one's here. Here's a lapel mic for you. First time we've ever done this, so there's always gonna be kinks.
Well, yeah. And look, we're all millennial age Democrats. Kinks aren't a bad thing. Everyone has
Yeah,
them.
yeah, it's just, I'm trying to do this to help people out, and it's like, he was all for it, I'm sure he's gonna get in trouble. I don't know, hopefully not. But, let's get back to the, tell us who you are and what you're running for.
My name is Carl Stutzman. I am running for state representative in House District 48 up in North Elkhart County.
Oh, perfect. I was gonna ask you where that is.
Where it is, I'm actually one of only a few districts that only covers one county, which is fairly advantageous for me as someone who's been there my whole life.
Yeah, so Elkhart County, what towns and cities?
Bristol and City of Elkhart would be the two biggest in my district, but it's Elkhart, Goshen, Napanee, Bristol. all
Okay,
in Elkhart
okay,
County.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and then mine's literally right on the state line. So
Nice. Okay, so tell us 5 things about you want constituents to know.
5 things about me that I want constituents to know. I bring a lot of perspective in the job as the result of someone who decided that they wanted to challenge themselves to accomplish different things and take on different tasks in my life. I spent the first 10 plus years, 13 years of my career working as a journalist in radio. I was a news anchor. And
Okay.
so because I was a news anchor, I put myself in a lot of places. I considered myself more of a community journalist than anything. So that meant literally digging yourself into your own backyard or whatever community you were in, just trying to find things that no one else was going to. Did that in Indianapolis, worked for WIBC for a while, 95.3 MNC WTRC up in Elkhart County, which was my home station.
Okay.
I'm an Elkhart kid. I got to come back and work for my home station. But then after that, I decided to do what everyone else did, which was pull up your bootstraps and go to work, right? I've worked on an RV line assembling stairs. I've been a parts delivery driver. I was a carpenter's apprentice for a full year down here in Indianapolis and went to the Union Carpenter School. I've been an animal control officer, and that's just the stuff that I've gotten paid to do.
Wow.
There's been a lot more. And currently I work for my best friend's company in town, and we do AV installs and theater production around the country. So a lot
a lot of things that I've seen and a lot of perspective that I want to be able to bring into the job.
Yeah, well, that explains you almost have that like TV radio voice going.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
the voice. It's the in front of the camera thing that throws me off. I'm not used to people looking at me. It's
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, here, let's scoot just a little bit this way so that the TikTok one can actually see
Oh,
you.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many cameras.
I know. Well, I have several platforms, so I want to just like get people out and get your names out so that it can help you.
You are always busy.
Yeah, yeah, it's all right. But tell me the song that was stuck in your head most recently.
Oh, the song that was stuck in my head most recently. This is going to be a really weird deep cut, and it's because inside of this 36-year-old man is a weird 80-year-old who just never escaped. Bill Crowfoot. Do you know who he is? Okay. Bill Crowfoot is an American folk singer.
I think I know who you're
Did
talking
a lot of American folksy stuff, but there's an album that he recorded at Goshen College.
Really?
In my hometown. Yeah, and I have a couple copies of it, one that I bought for my mom and one that I kept for myself. And there's this song that it's not even his, it's just an old American folk song. It's called Inch by Inch, Row by Row, or it's called I'm Gonna Let This Garden Grow. It's one of those, but that's literally the first lines of the song. It's inch by inch, row by row, I'm gonna let this garden grow. It's an old folk song about how if you want something great to come out of something, you have to tend to it. You can't just plant it and leave it alone. You got to put in the effort and make it work. And yeah, that's been in my head for like 2 days now.
Well, that's very appropriate.
Yeah, and a little niche. Someone's gonna have fun looking that one up.
Yeah, my husband loves old timey music. I'm sure that's why I'm like, oh, this sounds familiar. I bet I know this.
Yeah, it actually, it's funny because the reason why it's in my head, I was on a road trip with a friend and it came on and he's like, what in the world is this song? And I'm like, this song is exactly the reason why you pick music on road trips and not me, because you don't want to listen to this.
Well, are you a Doobie Brothers fan?
Yeah, I'm not sitting down specifically listening to them, but
No, Michael
Doobie
McDonald?
Brothers smash now. Not really. I'm more, but if I'm listening to an artist regularly, it's like Frank Sinatra all the time.
Interesting. I like Frank Sinatra. Well, tell me, what are the responsibilities that you would have in this office?
I'm just advocating for my community and watching out for them and listening to them and being there. That seems to be the part of the job that is most lacking in various places all around the state. And that's not unique to the State House. It's not unique to the Senate. It's not unique to the congressional race. It's kind of everywhere. We've lost this idea that your primary job is to be there and to respond to what is happening in your own community and create good legislation and good laws, or even if it's not that, just openly advocating for them where you can. So that's what my job is. I mean, that's what the job is, I think.
Yeah.
It's just knowing what's happening in your backyard and responding and creating sort of change that people can live off of and sustain.
Yeah. Do you have ideas about how, if you win the position, how you would stay in tune to what's going on in the community?
It's funny for me it's not that I don't have ideas. It's honestly, I've just been doing it for so long, naturally, just through developing a Rolodex and caring about the community. We had an immigration meeting last week in Goshen, and it just massive turnout. If you want to look it up on Facebook, they got a panel of experts together and students who gave their experience. And that's the sort of stuff that if you just plug yourself into it, everything else will come with it. You'll talk to someone at the event who will also say, you care about immigration. What do you think about, advocating for child services? Like, what do you know about this? As long as you just keep yourself open and you're willing to be out there, those things will come to you.
Yeah.
I think that's the necessity of the role, is that people are always going to try and find someone to give them the guidance or the help or the direction that they can't receive. And quite frankly, the office exists to give people those resources. So if you just keep yourself tuned to it, the question is how. You just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, I'm just going to set up an email list or I'm going to make 500 phone calls a day. Just dedicate yourself to the idea of doing it and make it part of your
Having like open office hours or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Just welcome people in. That's my favorite thing to do. Right now, I'm kind of on an unofficial, what do they call that? Listening tour, where I'm just having people tell me who I should talk to. Meet with, it's like, oh, so-and-so's in charge of the community foundation. Let's go have a 25-minute conversation with them. And then they'll put you in charge of someone who's in, oh, this person's working on the housing authority, or this person's working on immigration. And you just listen, pay
Yeah.
attention.
Well, what was your first job that you had that you got paid for?
My first job, I was 13 years old and I worked as a roofer's apprentice.
Is that even legal?
No, this was 2000. This was 2003. My neighbor owned a roofing business, lived directly across the street, and they just needed someone to pick up trash and carry stuff around. And so at 13 years old, I was like 6'1", 115 pounds. So I weighed nothing and couldn't do much of anything, but I was still lifting, packs of shingles and carrying them up a ladder and just watching. It was a really intense job. So, roofing houses, that was my first job.
That sounds intense for a first job.
It was a lot. It was a lot. A couple 100-degree days sitting up on the roof. You start to really appreciate people who do for a living.
Oh, I appreciate it all the time because I don't want to be up that high where you can fall off personally. But what qualities do you have that you think will help you if you get elected?
I'm very honest.
Mhm.
I'm very, very honest. I don't like to consider myself a pessimist. I'm not really an optimist. I'm kind of more of a pragmatist. I will tell you what the situation is, whether it's good or bad. And I'll be truthful with you about what the situation is, whether it's good or bad, because my intention is that regardless of what the situation is, our job is to fix it or to repair or to make whatever the problem is better. So honesty, really big part of that. To being able to look at policy, and even if you were the one that created that policy or you were the one that helped created it, realizing that it doesn't work, you're willing to step back and fix your own mistakes or admit when you're wrong. A lot of humility that came with, especially in radio, because you're directly responsible to the people that are listening to your show every day. And if you suck, they will tell you. They will have no problem telling you when you're terrible or when you get school names wrong. So
Yep.
it's and that's also this job too, right? As someone who's getting involved in politics, when you're terrible, people are going to tell you.
Oh yeah.
So what position do you take? Are you the sort of person that's just going to look at what they're saying and be angry or upset about it? Or are you going to maybe internalize it a little bit and figure out, okay, maybe I need to do better, or maybe I need to do something different? The other part of it is that I really do think I just know my community exceptionally well. Where I'm from in Elkhart County, my family's been around since the 1860s. I had a great grandfather that died in the Civil War,
Wow.
and Stutzman was Mennonite Amish back in the day. So I'm only a few generations removed from that. And
What a change.
yeah. And so I've watched my community grow. We're about the same age group, 2008, 2009, graduating high school.
Mhm.
What was that like? Walking into a world where there were no jobs. And I lived in Elkhart County where we were the poster child of no jobs. Barack Obama showed up twice. President doesn't show up to Northern Indiana unless things are really bad, 20% plus unemployment. And to watch the community grow and find a way to even thrive again after all of that, it's been pretty amazing. But on the other side of it, watching the areas that we haven't been able to thrive and watch the areas where things have been taken away and the stuff that we worked hard to get back that we now no longer have access to. It's it's a lot. So my biggest advantage is that I just genuinely care.
Yes.
I genuinely care. I have no problem diving into something to figure out what needs to be done, not how I'm supposed to feel about it, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. No, but you seem very authentic and very just it is what it is.
Yeah.
Pragmatic is,
Yeah.
is a good word.
I mean, here you can't. It's like the school funding problem. Okay, we can break down the school funding problem into 10 or 15 other different reasons as to why school funding got to be the way that it was. The big one that everyone can key in on is school vouchers, right? But there's other smaller things that are inside of our education system that have been around for longer than 20 years that are causing these problems, that have allowed us to not be able to put resources where they need to go. And you just have to call it out.
Mhm.
If it's broken, it's broken. I don't care who came up with it. I don't care if it was a Democrat or a Republican. Got to fix it.
Absolutely. Well, what are your top priorities on your campaign? Well, not the campaign. Like, if you win, what are your top issues?
Housing and affordability is probably about the biggest one in my area right now. My issues are mostly focused on less of what I was most important to me, what I think is most important to my district. And I genuinely think housing and affordability is a big part of it. The utility prices and everyone's bills are going up. Affordability breaks into so many different categories that can both be affected by things that the state government can do and things that the state government can't. So when you break down some of the larger things, yeah, that's what people want, right? Hate to say it, this election cycle, a lot of it's going to be about dollars in people's pockets. Who's helping who take money? Who's helping who save money? Who's helping who have money there, or use their money? The housing side of it. There's not enough housing in Elkhart County to fit all the people that are there. I don't know the number, so I'm not going to give you the exact number, but I'm pretty sure our population doubles as a county every day just from the number of people coming in for work.
Wow.
That's how many manufacturing facilities and large businesses we have up there, that the amount of people that come into our county is significantly larger than the amount of people that could live in our county. And everyone wants to live closer to work. Everyone wants that shorter drive. But when there's nowhere to put people. And so the solutions are in my district there, for the first time in forever, there's this big corridor that I guess it's technically not in mine. It's just south of mine. It's this big open land space, and it's been that way for 20 years. They finally have decided to put apartment complexes in it.
That's about time.
And the neighborhoods aren't getting any bigger because the amount of land that's available is getting smaller. And a lot of the land that when it becomes available is getting kind of gobbled up by corporations. And Elkhart County, another thing that's kind of high on my list is we're primed for the data centers to try and come in and take advantage of the fact that we need the money and we have the resources. So there's a lot.
There is a lot. Well, tell me, is there a book or a podcast or an essay that people can go and read or listen to that they would get to know more about who you are as a person?
Ooh, that's a really good one. A book, a podcast, or an essay.
Or a movie.
Or a movie. I love Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
And in fact, I thought not being a Republican for a long time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because Abraham Lincoln, he was the Republican. I mean, he was the man who held the Union together. He's one of the greatest figures in American history, and he belonged to that party. And so in my naive young brain, it's like, well, I have to belong to that party as well. Study him. That's the best thing I can tell you. Study him. Read some of his private letters. Some of the things that he wrote to his best friend, some of the things that he wrote to his wife when he was on the road. A lot of what you can find in an individual, you'll see in those writings that weren't necessarily when people were paying attention. And there's a couple books full of those. He's one of the people that has inspired me the most in his story. Maybe it's because he's a backwoods guy from Indiana. He spent his life kind of bumbling around and splitting logs. And despite the fact that he seemed like not so much on the surface, underneath there was a lot there. Yeah. I'll just give a shout. Watch the Revolutionary War documentary that Ken Burns just put out. Okay. That's good too. Okay. There's a lot of idealism and stuff from the Enlightenment period that I still go back to and look at for inspiration. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, tell people where they can find you if they want to donate or if they want to volunteer.
CarlStutzman4IN.org is the website. You can also find me on Facebook, Carl Stutzman for Indiana Representative District 48. Just look at Carl Stutzman.
Awesome.
It's pretty easy there. And it's all the Act Blue and everything's there. So it should be pretty simple.
Well, thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure.
It's
so good to see you. Thank you so much. We'll take the lapel mic.
Lapel mic.
Yes, and then I will have you come out here. There is a chair to sit in while they're finishing up because usually there's like a little bit of a delay. That's fine. Thank you so much for coming.
Hey, I
really
appreciate
long
it.
drive for you.
So I did look into all that stuff.
Yeah.
The ELP meeting. And I have health insurance for the first time in a long time.
Good for you.
So I'm gonna be back into that. I'm supposed to have an appointment next week, but I'm driving to California for work.
Oh, okay. You can have to give it the first chair, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, just on today.
Yeah, they're nice.
They're gonna be my campus and welcome shirts.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, this lapel mic is for you. It just clips onto your shirt or where it's going. Let me bring it up.
How you doing today?
I am good, just working out some kinks as they come.
What was all that down in there?
Oh, he was saying, here, hold on. I'm just gonna put it right there. Oh, that's why your collar is a little flimsy. There we go. Okay. It was just, they were like, apparently the building manager, there's some alarm going off, but we didn't know about it. These were called like twice. So, yeah. Yeah, I think it's taken care of. It's like, we're almost done anyway, so it's fine. But thank you for coming. Why don't we start with just what your name is and what you're running for?
Well, my name is Sarah Scheidel, and I'm currently running for State House District 97.
All right, and where is District 97?
So, if I'm not mistaken, we're currently standing inside of it. It encompasses the Monument Circle, about west to halfway to the International Airport, and then down south to about Garfield Park.
Okay, great. So tell me 5 things about yourself that you want constituents to know.
Well, I'm very driven to the goals I'm looking for. I want to be very open and honest and
Transparent.
Transparency is big in this race, and compassionate. And above all else, I want to be a solid voice. It's like my opponent is like, he does not do very many debates or anything like that nature. So people don't really hear from him very often. And I want to do the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tell me about what song you had stuck in your head recently.
What song?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've had a bunch. Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Okay, nice. Always good to do a throwback. What is the first job you ever held?
Subway.
Subway.
I worked at a Subway down in Barnesville, Indiana.
Okay, awesome. Let's talk about the job. What are some responsibilities you think someone would have in this position?
You need to be very active. You need to have the pulse of the community at your fingertips, and you need to have a very open ear for what your constituents want, and especially like having like an open office kind of thing, and not even mentioning like working with your fellow colleagues, and like as me and my opponent are both Democrats, we have to work with Republicans to accomplish our goals.
Absolutely. Well, tell me what qualities you have that will help you in elected office.
I feel like I haven't lost my soul.
All right.
Well, you know how it goes. It's like, politics, soulless. But like I maintain like passion, and I maintain my sense of self, and I'm not betrayed by like special interest groups or dark money or anything. I'm entirely self-funded, and I have the absolute best interests of everyone in the community in mind.
Yeah. So if you were given, let's say you win and they give you a piece of legislation, what are your considerations looking at these pieces of legislation, and when you're deciding, am I going to vote yes or no on this?
What is in the best interest of the community? First and foremost, I want to make sure that people's lives are uplifted, and I want people to be better off for what I do. I don't, because you see in the national news nowadays, like politicians everywhere working on legislation that only hurts people, and I cannot bear I cannot bear that at all whatsoever. It has to help.
Absolutely. Well, like all those data centers and stuff, it doesn't help the Hoosiers. It's ridiculous.
Don't even get me started on the data centers.
I know, right? Well, what are your main priorities for, what like your platform? Like, what are your top 2 or top 3 issues?
Well, for one thing, I want to focus very hard on the working class. I want to get wages up, and I want to get the cost of living down, because it seems like everyone nowadays is being strung out by being nickel and dime, essentially. And of course, I want to make sure that the voiceless in the state have a voice, because I'm a minority and I'm transgender. And I'm not hiding that fact, and I want to be the amplifier for our own and for others who feel like they're lacking a voice.
Yeah, everyone deserves a voice, and I think our legislature needs to be more representative of the state. But let's talk about if there's like a book or a movie or an essay that people could go out and find that would give them a better idea of who you are as a person. Is there something like that they could go out and watch or read?
Who I am as a person?
Yeah, like something you resonate with. Like, for instance, somebody said that they were really inspired by Bernie Sanders' biography. Someone else was talking about What Dreams May Come, that movie. But just things that are like inspirational to you in your life that people could say, you could look at and be like, oh, this gives me a deeper understanding of you.
Well, one thing that immediately comes to mind, and it's something that I actually talked about in decent length, and I wrote my own autobiography. It hasn't come out yet. It's not going to come out for a very long time, but it's something very important to me. It's actually a Flash game, and it's called Dysphoria, except it's spelled like a DYS, the number 4, and then like a couple other numbers and letters, and it's all about how human it is to be trans, because in this day and age, we're demonized because people don't understand. And this is one of the first pieces of trans represented media that I ever consumed. And it opened my eyes to the possibilities and the fact that this was a normal thing to go through. And of course, Bernie Sanders is a great inspiration, of course, as well as there's a trans legislator out in Arizona, I want to say. I'm forgetting her name off the top of my head.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. She's one of the main reasons why I felt so confident in actually running in the first place, because trailblazer.
Yeah.
She did it when everyone else said she couldn't.
But there should be trans representation in our Congress. Like, it makes sense that trans people are a part of the constituent body. It doesn't make sense to me to not have that representation there. And I just think that people are scared of that kind of representation because you said they don't understand it.
They don't understand. And that's the biggest thing about this discrimination with trans people, is that a lot of these people, and I've seen this in many jobs I've worked, is that most of them have never even been in the same room as a trans person, nevertheless talked to them before. Right. And as such, they only have what they know from
Fox
News and everything. So they've been programmed kind of with this image of us, and it doesn't fit with who we actually are. That's the thing.
What do you want people to know about trans?
We're human. We're human. We just want to live.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. We want to live in public, and we want the same rights as everyone else. We don't, because something that's really bothered me about the huge resurgence in transphobia is that people keep talking about our rights like it can be taken away. And if a right can be taken away, it's not a right, it's a privilege.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like people are always coming on my videos and saying, well, what rights have you lost? And I'm like, I like to fight for my rights before I lose them.
Exactly.
Why would it? Because it's always harder to get it back once you've lost it. And I just don't understand why people just don't understand that, like, everybody just wants to live their life how they feel comfortable. That's how I look at it anyway. Like,
it should be common sense, but some people just don't get it.
Yeah, I know. And then it's like, in Indiana, they passed that the bill 3 times, no trans athletes in sports or something. That's ridiculous. That's a waste of our time. It's a waste of our money when people have real problems.
Exactly. And the thing about those kind of bills is that it targets a fraction of a fraction of a percent of a fraction of the population. There is one specific bill that was the same kind of like banning trans people from performing certain athletics. where it was targeting one person in an entire state. I forget exactly which one, but I know for a fact it happened. And that's the ridiculous thing, because we're just trying to live our lives on the same level that everyone else is. And when these bills get passed, it puts us down more spokes. And once we're down there, it's much harder to get back up.
Yeah.
And that's why more trans people should be running and should be in state and federal legislators. It's so we can have a voice.
Absolutely. I agree. I think that more normal people in general need to run. But I could see why a lot of people who maybe identify as trans might be scared to run. Do you have any words of advice for somebody who might be thinking of running, who might be trans, but maybe scared to?
Well, if I had to give anyone advice, I'd say that you have to very much hold to yourself, and you need to not listen to the naysayers, because in my race, I have heard the worst things. People send me death threats.
Oh yeah.
People will shout slurs at me just for existing, and you have to.
How dare you?
Yeah. And you have to be able to push past that. And it is scary at first. You have to put yourself out into the spotlight and everything. But you just need to hold on to your ideals, and you need to remember why you're doing what you're doing. Because ideally you should be running to help people and to give the voice to those that don't have a voice. And as long as you keep those things very close to your heart, and you make sure to stay safe, then you'll be fine.
Yeah. Are there any other things you want constituents to know about you?
Well, I mean,
Well, if there's nothing on top of your head, I have another question. What do you think about school vouchers? That's a big one people want to know.
I don't like school vouchers. I do not like school vouchers at all, because it's a way to skirt constitutional allowances, right? Because we're not supposed to be endorsing religions, but most of these school vouchers are going straight towards religious schools, and it's being funded by taxpayers, which isn't right. Not right at all.
No, not right. I agree. Well, tell people where they can find you to donate or volunteer for your campaign.
Well, I have a donation link and a volunteer contact form up on my website at sarahshadell.com, SarahShydale.com.
Amazing. Well, it has been a great interview. I really like getting to know you. It's been a really lovely conversation. I'll take the lapel mic from you. Thank you. And I'm going to walk you out here. There is a chair because I don't want people to have to stand. I know that everybody's knees are dying.
Yeah,
But seriously, this was a great conversation.
absolutely.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing this with you, actually. I love that you were so open and honest about trans.
Well, and I have my question too, kind of. I've been in the box.
Oh, no, you were great. It was awesome. It was my podcast. It's on Spotify and all that as well. So,
Absolutely. Thank you.
oh,
It's great talking to you.
it's